Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. I'm going to talk about AI and GenAI adoption in the banking and financial services domain. So first, let's look at how an AI-led organization look like. So if a bank wants to become an AI-led organization, what does it have to do? It needs to invest on these 5 key pillars. The most foundational one is the infrastructure one. So it needs to scale the infrastructure layer in such a manner that all other layers can sit on top of it. Right above the infrastructure, we have the orchestration layer of the core models. AI, GenAI sits on it, or comes into picture here. And then we have data and model ops, which kind of connects the core models to the business application. And the business application connects the organization to the end customer. And then above all, we have AI with human in loop. So see, with AI, many things can be automated to some extent, but human oversight is imperative. Human would be, should be the primary validator and key decision maker, with AI being the co-pilot. So all these layers must tie it together to form a loop, so to let you improve in this AI journey. So as you can see in this entire structure, generative AI is just one component. But yes, the most pivotal one for all the applications we talk about in today's world. Now, in today's world, what we see, the chat GPT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, the visualization and analytics, those are just tip of the iceberg. What lies beneath are very, very important too. The security and the governance protocol, the data management, cost management, data structure are crucial here. Data being on the center of it. So data is the main crux here. Whatever we do and talk about in this GenAI space, it evolves around the data security, data governance, data transformation. So data is the main crux here. Now, if a bank wants to adopt or develop an end-to-end GenAI based solution, what does it have to do? The bank needs to collaborate or partner with the other key players in the GenAI space. And who are these other key players we are talking about? There are primary 3 players here. The first, the ChatGPT, OpenAI, Meta kind of organization who develop the foundational models. I'm talking about ChatGPT, Llama kind of foundational model. Then on your right and left are the second type of player who uses these foundational models and then enable other business to use this, because the foundational model cannot be used in the raw form. So see, these language models are such that whatever you ask, it will throw you some answer. But if you want to ask something specific to a particular domain or context, we need this layer. And what kind of work they do and who are these players? So we are talking about consulting firm as an example of these organization. And what do they do actually? They create the input in such a way that it connects this foundational model to the context. So the knowledge graphs, contextual awareness are such activities they do. And it's very important layer to for the contextual, the domain part. Now comes the third player. So this third player touch base all this with the end customer by enabling through the cloud-based infrastructure. So Amazon, Google are such example of these companies. So all these 3 type of players, 3 type of organization must come together, partner to develop an end-to-end GenAI based solution. Now that banks have that understanding, banks know that where to invest and who are the strategic partners it needs to collaborate with. What next? Banks enable themselves with the GenAI use cases, but how do banks think about those use cases? It's not random. It's actually a step-by-step process. So banks, what do the bank would do? So bank focuses on the low-hanging fruits first. So not touch bases the ones who would directly impact the end customer, because a lot of regulation, compliance, and legal would come into picture, which might be a roadblock in the initial phase. So safer and easier starting point would be something internal. So depending upon the AI's exposure to the end customer, banks categorizes these use cases. First category is the internal one, employee facing. For operational efficiency gain, it could be code conversion. So the banks are still, a lot of the banks are still using traditional techniques, or in terms of language, they are still moving out from SAS and to Python. So a lot of code conversion needed there, SAS to Python, Python to SAS. And suspicious activity reporting, investigation are another example of the use case. Automated model documentation, income verification, HR policy summarization. Those are few use cases where bank leverages for internal purpose, for operational efficiency and employee experience. Now, then comes the second type of use cases where it is agent based. So, their GenAI system doesn't talk to the end customer directly, but it throws some recommendation to the human in loop who takes the final call. Once banks feel more comfortable with these use cases, slowly and gradually, it moves to the third kind of use cases, which is customer facing. So digital marketing, personalized marketing, digital collection, chat, bot are such example of those use cases. So it's just a illustrate sample, and then nowadays the use cases are just too many, but mostly these are the three categories banks envision uses of GenAI. Now, let's talk about some latest trends of generative AI, or rather future trends of GenAI. What is beyond 2025? See, in this AI journey, we have experienced how AI have transformed the banking space, banking and financial services space, from artificial intelligence to machine learning to deep learning to generative AI, and now here we are. Agentic AI is the talk of the town. What's so cool about it? Agentic AI works like a network of AI agent. It's goal driven, it's proactive with the self-learning capabilities, and above all, it can autonomously take decision and take action without constant human intervention. Now, banks have already started using it in various ways. For example, trading bot, then transaction monitoring for fraud prevention, then automated credit risk underwriting for financial inclusion. So there, even if you don't have the formal credit history, some maybe utility payment history or some other alternate data, not so formal data, the system allows you to lending, and it helps as a financial inclusion. And then personal financial advisor, and many such use cases of agenting AI. It sounds so fascinating, isn't it? Wait. Given its autonomy power of the agentic AI, it poses a lot of risk to the banks and many other industries. What do the banks do? It needs to place or establish a strict guardrail to navigate through. And see, agentic AI is not separate from generative AI. I would say it's just the new avatar of generative AI. So in general, nothing specific to agentic AI, in general, AI or GenAI space, in the adoption journey of the bank, the journey is not seamless. Banks do face a lot of challenges on regular basis. And the challenges I am talking about here include but not limited to the data protection and security, transparency, the governance and security protocol, the risk and compliance, and compliance related thing, and then AI like human oversight. So, and there are, it's just a few of the challenges, and the list goes on. How do banks navigate through these challenges and strike a balance between innovation and the risk and compliance? Banks can take these 5 key steps approaches to keep a balance between innovation and risk and compliance. A, establish responsible AI governance, tightening the data security and protocol, and integration with risk and compliance, so that the compliance could be related to Fair Lending Act, it could be related to Model Risk Management Guideline, and SR 11.7, and other related compliance in that particular space. So in everywhere there could be separate kind of regulation associated with it. And then AI human collaboration. So humans should be and would be the key decision maker, the key validator, with AI being the co-pilot. And the compliance first strategy, that should be our stance. So these are some of the steps bank can focus on, and to navigate through these challenges. Now here we are, these are some of the key takeaways, just to summarize this adoption journey, AI adoption journey of the banks. The first is the robust groundwork is very is essential. So investment is not going to be enough. Solid foundation and the strategic partnership with the lead innovators are very important here. Second is the transforming banking with AI and Gen AI is not luxury anymore. It's here, and it's the need of the hour. You snooze, you lose. In terms of capturing the dynamic or changing behavior of the customer. And last but not the least, balancing AI with risk and compliance. So no compromise on risk and compliance. Adherence to the compliances is basically mandatory to move on. That's the only way to be future proof for to move forward. So what we should do here, the scaling of the AI framework, constant upskilling of the talent pool, and integration with risk and compliance constantly. The compliance, the guideline can change, can be evolving. So we should be updated, stay relevant, and accordingly change our strategy, our models in such a manner that we are future ready. Thank you for your time.